Hey, I want to thank you for joining us here on Polk Place. I'm Brian Lacey, and want to talk to you about Talbot House Ministries and one of their newest additions to help women. And from Talbot House Ministries, her name is Deborah Cozzetti. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
First time? First time here. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And the boss got called.
Booked.
Yeah, she got double booked.
Booked.
And Deb called me and said, "Hey, do you mind if I come in?" I'm like, "Of course, yes. Come on in." Because the most important thing is getting the message out, right?
Getting the message out about what we have going on. Yes.
So talk to me a little bit about what you do with Talbot House, if you would, please.
I am the Director of Programs and Services, which means if it has a heartbeat, I'm the director over that. I have different managers underneath me. So we have housing. We also have our emergency shelter. We have solutions, which is our employment center. We have our case managers, which is part over our program. We have programs where people come in that want to get their lives together, and we have case managers that bring them in, help them get their Social Security, help them get on a budget, get jobs, and they can stay with us anywhere from 6 months to 18 months to 2 years, however long it takes them to get on their feet. We have diversion programs, which is privately funded right now, and that's exciting, and that's a new program that started last year. And what that does is that people, everybody moves here to Florida. They think it's the land of plenty.
Yep.
They come here and they find out, no, it didn't work out. Or they come here to stay with some family members. That didn't work out. Or friends, that didn't work out. They just want to go back home. So they get in touch with us, and we have funds, set aside to put them on a bus, put them on a plane, send them back home. We confirm with the family on the other side that they're ready to receive them. And so that kind of helps with that situation. We have outreach that we do out in Winter Haven, and that's actually, gone out into Lakeland. So we have a lot of programs to help the community.
Deborah, now that we have the view from 40,000 feet,
right,
what Talbot House does, I would really like to focus in on we touched on the homeless, but something that you guys made an announcement that we in the community needed desperately is a women's shelter. Let's talk a little bit about the facility itself, how it came at hand, and you guys getting involved, and ultimately, what will it be for our community?
Big question, but I got a lot of answers for you. What we did, actually, the executive director, Maria Cruz, we've been talking since last year of a dream and a vision to open up a shelter strictly for women and children, because we don't accept children at our shelter because it's 18 and up. And we can't have them there. It's a liability. And so we're constantly having to find different places for them to go. So it's been our vision. So the board and Maria have been out there pounding the pavement, trying to find what can we be converted into a shelter for women. So when we heard in January of this year that the Salvation Army was going to be closing their center in Winter Haven, we immediately jumped on it. Maria contacted their captain and their head people. We had meetings together. There was a couple of other providers that were also involved, but long story short, we got the bid. So we signed the contract, everything at the end of May, and it was a dream come true. And so we're going after all the funding, all the private funding, everything that's going to need to get the thing up and running. We're already breaking ground on the remodeling. So that's kind of how it came about. It just answered a prayer, really.
Yeah. You kind of briefly touched on it. There are no facilities for women and children.
Correct.
Talk about the importance. These are tough times economically, and there is a desperate need. There are folks living out of their vehicles. Right. There are families living out of their vehicles, single mothers living out of their vehicles. Talk about what you guys plan on providing for them with this facility.
Well, and there are some facilities out there right now. I mean, Lighthouse does serve women and children, so does Salvation Army, but it's not enough. So there's still an overflow of people that need services. So really comes down to is the whole face of homelessness has changed. And for the women and the children, not only are they're living in motels, and a lot of that has to do with our economy and what's happened here. And the Alice report of 225 or 224 just came out just this last week, which is assistance that is limited for those with jobs but just don't have the access for it. So in Florida, 46% of the population of Florida is below that threshold, meaning they're employed, but they are making too much money to get services, but not enough money to be able to make their rent. Here in Polk County, it's 48%. Also in Florida, what's happened is households with children has increased. So what do we do when the economy is crazy? The people that were making it aren't able to make it any longer. We know that finances and families is the number one thing for families breaking down. So what happens when that family breaks down? And if the mom and dad split up, now you've got a single mom with kids, can't afford to be anywhere. This is a crisis. So what we're doing in the center that's going to be opening up early in 2025 is we're going to have we're redoing the whole inside. There's going to be dorms in there. So there's going to be 10 dorms that will have 4 beds in there for a mom with just a couple of kids. Then we're going to have 5 dorms that will have 6 beds for bigger families. Then we're going to have 12 beds set aside for the single women, no kids. So all total 82 beds in that whole center. And so that we don't have, single moms complaining, or single women, complaining about the kids, things like that. So they're going to be able to come there, even though it's a shelter. They don't leave during the day like we do at our main campus. They're coming and going, coming and going. They will come in and we will hold on to them, keep them stable, work with the Hearth program about schooling, make sure they have school, make sure these women have all the resources. We'll have case management there. We're going to have our licensed mental health counselor there. So they're going to get everything that they need to hopefully, maybe they're only there for maybe a month or 3 months or 6 months, however long it takes for them to get up and get into a place, get into housing. It's right now, I'm just thinking, I pulled the numbers of homelessness from the Homeless Coalition, from their numbers in July, just this month in July, and it's 989 homeless right now in Polk County. Now there is 388 of those are actually chronically homeless, and the other 681 are at risk for doing that. Almost 1,000. Those are the ones that have actually registered with the Homeless Coalition. So the need is huge.
Deborah, one thing that we kind of touched on, the tough economic times stress the net that is already there to help what you can. You guys, Talbot House being a nonprofit, rely on the generosity of individuals and corporations giving and investing in you, who in turn invest back into those families. Talk about those that give and invest in the community and invest in you and inspire them to help you help others.
Thank you for that question. It is so important because we have this out of sight, out of mind, that the general public they get busy in their own lives. So what needs to happen is we are constantly doing networking and working with other organizations and working with marketing and Facebook and getting involved in the community to get the message out there. First of all, that the message of homelessness and the perception of homelessness is very different than what people think. When we have families now in motels because they can't afford their rent. I mean, we have 1-bedroom apartments going for $1,000 to $1,100 a month. When I started at Talbot House in 2018, a 1-bedroom, you could still get a 1-bedroom for $650, $700. And so ever since COVID, everything has skyrocketed. I understand business. I understand that the landlords have, insurance has gone up. There's a reason everything's gone up. But the wages and the living capacity that people have to be able to make ends meet is not matching. And so we need the community to come together and realize this is not just a system that is broken down for a few people. It's a system that's broken down for all of us. All of us need to take a look at it and come together, whether it's private businesses, whether it's the legislature, whether it's county, city, the municipalities, whatever it is. We have got to just put everything aside and say, we have to tackle this, and we have to come up with more affordable housing. We have to come up with more shelters like we're doing in Winter Haven, because those 82 beds, it's just 82 beds. I mean, we want to expand more, we want to expand more shelters, we want to do more, but it does take a lot of money. This project is over $1 million project that we're doing in Winter Haven. And so it takes a lot of people understanding that it's a lot cheaper really in the long run to support organizations like Talbot House, to get people off the street, to get them into jobs, to get them into housing, then arresting them and putting them in jail, which costs us all a lot of money. And so we need to understand that, you know, that's a whole nother topic, but we need to understand that the things that are in place right now are costing us actually more than coming up and supporting those that do have solutions and have visions to tackle this situation.
Well, Deborah, I want to thank you for coming in, and when everything's getting ready to open up, or anything that you guys need to help promoting, please come back and see me.
We will definitely do that. Thank you so much for inviting us on.
For over 40 years, Talbot House Ministries has been serving the community, being able to help women, children, and families in need. They're extending their emergency shelter services for those who are homeless in Winter Haven. They recently purchased the Salvation Army's former East Polk shelter at 320 Martin Luther King Boulevard Northwest in Winter Haven. Now, the site will provide shelter for single women and women with children. Now, if you need more information on the shelters or anything that Talbot House does, do me a favor, look them up on the web at talbothouse.org. If you enjoyed that episode of Polk Place, I invite you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and even check out the next one.